is CTV's W5. Here is Sandy Ronaldo.
Welcome to W5. In the world of science, medical discoveries usually undergo years of testing. But for those suffering from debilitating diseases, waiting for science to prove a promising treatment can be frustrating. So, when a doctor in Italy, Paolo Zamboni, suggested multiple sclerosis was linked to constricted veins and that a simple treatment to open them up could stop the disease, MS patients the world over began seeking the procedure. But others in the medical community are demanding strict proof. The Liberation treatment was the story that W5 first reported to the world last November. But now, the Liberation war is pitting desperate MS patients against doctors and is dividing the medical community. Here is Avis Favreau.
I said to the doctor that was doing the procedure, "Have you done something to me?" And he said, "Yes, we have." He said, "Why?" And I told him that I could move my foot, my hand.
This is something Steve Garvey says he hasn't been able to do in a long time, stand on his own 2 feet.
How long's it been since you've stood like this?
Probably 6, 8 years.
How does it feel?
Feels good.
Steve had run out of treatments for his worsening multiple sclerosis. He relied on a walker to cope with the fatigue, the numbness in his left hand and leg. But he says a treatment done here in Canada has given him newfound abilities.
Show me a deep knee bend.
And if I tried this before, I would have fallen back or fallen over, definitely.
Like countless MS patients, Steve has been online, gathering information about a novel and controversial theory about their disease, developed by Italian doctor Paolo Zamboni.
The narrowing is...
That idea, first broadcast on W5 last November, that many of those with multiple sclerosis have blocked veins in their necks and chests.
Look at this section, the narrowing. There's a significant stenosis.
Their blood doesn't drain properly, sending it back to their brain, a problem that could be contributing to their MS. What's more, Dr. Zamboni's study suggested opening these veins with balloon angioplasty improved symptoms and reduced new MS attacks. It was dubbed the Liberation treatment.
Wow! No more narrowing.
The blood goes faster than before.
With few options, Steve was desperate to give this new idea a try.
The clock's ticking. People die. People with MS commit suicide at an alarming rate. There's no hope. So why don't we give them hope?
His neurologist told him to wait for more studies.
Was it easy to see or hard to see?
Instead, Steve went to see vascular surgeon Sandy McDonald, who runs an imaging clinic in Barrie, north of Toronto. He decided to test Steve's blood flow with an ultrasound scan that Dr. McDonald paid for out of his own pocket.
In dealing with Steve, I have to say very specifically that I don't treat MS. I have no idea what the effect of the balloon angioplasty will have on MS, but I knew that from the studies that we had done that he had abnormal flow characteristics that warranted further assessment.
So he then sent Steve for a venogram, a test where dye is injected to see the veins and blood flow.
And it's actually quite narrowed.
And just as the theory suggested, Steve had abnormal blood drainage from his brain, courtesy a narrowed left jugular vein.
When you inject the dye, it just stays and stays and stays and is very sluggish to drain out.
It's a condition called CCSVI, chronic cerebral spinal venous insufficiency. And following Dr. Zamboni's study, Dr. McDonald and his colleagues decided to unblock Steve's vein. This is home video after the procedure.
Well, I felt warmness or a difference in my left side of my face, and I thought I'd just try and wiggle my toes. So I did, and it moved.
Oh, this is so awful.
Then I thought about my left hand.
And there is the left hand.
One of the nurses came over, said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "I'm fine. Shake my hand." And she shook my left hand, which was useless before.
It was quite remarkable. The question as a physician, though, is it a placebo effect or is it real? I mean, when a patient really wants to get better, sometimes when you do something, they seem to feel better, and it really comes down to, over time, assessing whether or not his improvements are real and will be lasting, and who knows.
Steve was just one of 6 Canadian patients found to have impaired blood flow and treated by Dr. McDonald and his colleagues. 5 agreed to be interviewed along with their families, like Leanne Webb, diagnosed with MS almost 20 years ago.
At one point, I didn't have any movement in my right side.
She also fit the theory with tests showing a narrow jugular vein, which was opened a month ago.
I feel a lot better than what I have in the last long time, 5 years, 6 years. I can do laundry, I can go for a walk. The fatigue is, I don't even feel fatigued anymore.
Matt Maltese has suffered with MS for a decade.
The whole right side goes numb. Now the whole left side's numb.
An initial ultrasound scan of his neck early February showed a problem.
He seems to me as having abnormal flow in the jugular vein.
Doctors opened up 2 blocked veins later that month.
So can you show us how you go up and down the stairs right now?
His father, Vito, took this video the day after.
Usually going up, he does make it up the stairs, but it's a 10 or 15 minute event. He went up and down those stairs that morning about 10 times. And the strangest thing is he started whistling, and he hasn't whistled in years because he hasn't had any feeling in his left side in 3 to 5 years total, no feeling at all for 3 to 5 years.
Now it's so much better. Can actually go out and do stuff now.